This is the Jocko Underground Podcast, number 11, with Echo Charles and me, Jocko Willink. Good evening, Echo.
Good evening.
We have some more Q&A for today from
the Underground.
The Underground.
Yes, sir.
So people that are in the Underground know how to ask questions to the Underground. More narrow audience, so we get to them quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Here's a question, and this question is actually directed, I believe, at Echo Charles for the most part. So I'm going to read it. Mm-hmm. It says, I've been lifting weight, bodybuilding, powerlifting since high school. I recently purchased Jocko's field manual. It was awesome, by the way. So the thing is, I'm not very familiar with the Olympic lifts, and I can't afford to do BJJ and CrossFit. Obviously, I'm going with BJJ because you can't burpee out of a chokehold. That's affirmative.
That's true.
I'm curious to what movements Echo Charles bases his lifting around. I know he played D1 football, so he may be more familiar with Olympic lifts as well. I'm just trying to see what weight training split will complement a beginner at BJJ and someone who isn't very familiar with Olympic lifts. I'm very experienced with the big three, squat, bench, deadlift. But I love cardio, the cardio aspect that comes with Metcon Olympic lifting. Echo Charles, go.
Okay, let me preface this with
I'll be back in 15
personal my personal training certification is expired. Has been
Did
expired.
you actually get one ever?
I got a certification. It was like one of the bare minimum ones.
When?
2003.
Were you thinking maybe that was the road?
That was the road.
Yeah. Did you actually do that for a while?
I was a personal trainer for a little while. Yes.
How long?
I don't know, a year and a half, 1 year. Maybe.
Where?
I don't know. 24-hour fitness.
San Diego?
Yeah, San Diego.
No
UTC, 24-hour fitness. Yep.
No kidding.
It's true. Well, in college, I went to school I wanted to be a strength conditioning coach. So that was what I sort of pursued. That's why.
So your bro science has a little
some regular science in it. Yes. Yeah.
You could have fooled me over the past 10 years.
In exercise and like sports,
bro science is real. Well, Jocko, you got to understand, in exercise and sports, bro science is the real thing.
No, man. There's so much updating, because everybody's body's different and all this stuff. It responds differently to different things. It's fast twitch, slow twitch muscles, like
medium twitch, which is the thing.
Yeah, see, and even that, it's like, put it this way, there's always new updates to it. So things that we thought was the best way, sometimes later on they found out, hey, that's not the best way. This is even better way.
Science.
Some things they say, hey, this is not even true anymore because we thought it was true because of this, but this is only the case because of this other thing that we didn't know about. You see what I'm saying?
Well, lately there's been a lot of this trust the science stuff going around. Yeah. And the thing about trust, like you just said, you can trust science today. It could be different tomorrow. Yeah.
And then even that's going to depend because there's like, what do you call them? The hard sciences. And then there's the not hard sciences or whatever.
Yeah.
So then there's that going on.
But even in the hard sciences, like things get proven wrong over time.
Yeah. And I think like I mean, at the end of the day, but
there's no
lot of stuff.
But.
Yes, there is a but. They're not going to prove that 1 + 1, like for some reason, doesn't equal 2 anymore. It's like that kind of stuff.
That's math.
Yeah, which is one of the hard sciences, or it's part of the hard sciences.
You're digging holes.
No, I'm not. This is absolutely true. Either way, back to lifting.
Let's focus on lifting. Let's get back to lifting. The hard science, the hard bro science of lifting.
The hard science of lifting.
All right, what do you got?
This is my opinion, and it's not like gonna be. I am not a strength and conditioning coach at all.
Okay.
But if you ask me what I do and what I've found to be beneficial for jiu-jitsu and non-jiu-jitsu stuff, here's what I have currently. So my workouts are not based for jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Not fully. Some of it is because lifting weights has all kinds of different pursuits. You want muscular endurance. You want to look good. You want big muscles. You want to be strong. You want it to be performance-based, and then performance-based how? Like you want to be strong in the weight room. You want to be fast. You want to, so there's like all kinds of different pursuits going in different directions fully. So mine was when I started lifting weights, it was to be quote unquote big and strong and fast.
Okay.
Which are 3 different things too, by the way. But my workouts would be based kind of with those 3 interests in mind.
Are they still?
Not the fast.
So I think he's asking, what are you doing right now?
Yeah. But I think that's important to preface because it's like,
Everyone
wait,
just
I
started
don't
clapping when I said that. They recognize I was trying to move this conversation along.
They're not.
Yes,
if they have the same question, they think that this is beneficial because it is, and this is why. Because sometimes people will be like, hey, they'll like look at me and I'll get this. They'll be like, hey, what do you do for lifting? But then if you don't say like, well, I don't do this thing and then I happen to get this result. It's like I have these certain things that I do for working out that for these certain results or whatever. And they conflict with each other. Like a lot of the lifts that I do totally conflict with jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Like as far as, I mean, I guess like they'd be considered like bodybuilding lifts. Like the format, you know, like if I do 5 sets of 12 reps, we'll say shoulder press, 5 sets of 12 reps, a minute and a half rest in between till failure every time. That's a bodybuilding type movement. Mm-hmm. That's not directly beneficial to jiu-jitsu. Okay. In fact, if you put on lean muscle mass, that's not effective for jiu-jitsu to a certain point. So if you're a super skinny little dude and then you put on muscle mass, okay. But once you get sort of into a certain range, depending on your body build or whatever, the muscle works against you in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it does. Wait, wasn't it you that was saying, oh yeah, you want to get up to like 250?
Yeah, just said that on the podcast with Jocko.
Yes, and then
I went to run. I ran 4 miles and I was like, good Lord,
I'm too big.
This is too much.
And the thing is, you could be 250, good weight or bad weight. You'd probably have that same thing going on if you don't train for running the mile. You see what I'm saying?
And if I was training, then I wouldn't have been able to get to 250. If I kept running well, it would have been just a lot harder.
And arguably, you couldn't have. You know,
there's a chance that it just wouldn't be possible.
Yeah. So,
have you ever heard that an obese person cannot do a pull-up? Have you ever heard that?
No.
I heard it. I think it was talking about kids. It was like another person saying, because I'm a big proponent of pull-ups, and there's some fact or something that I read in the manual of bro science, I guess.
Sure.
But it said an obese kid cannot do a pull-up. So if you get your kids doing pull-ups and they keep doing pull-ups, they're gonna be in better shape.
Yeah. But okay, so even that barely. Well, then again, that's unclear because a fat kid can do a pull-up. I mean, not all of them, of course, but
that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if what you're saying is whoever said that or whatever, what they meant was if you can do a pull-up, we cannot consider you obese no matter how fat you are, right?
Yeah,
even though that's not the definition of being obese, by the way.
I think the idea was in order to be able to do a pull-up, if your body weight goes over a certain amount, there's no way that your strength ratio can support it.
Oh,
that type of thing.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right, but I don't know, obviously, because pull-ups is how strong your arms and your back is.
Yeah,
really?
But I'm saying there's a certain limit to how strong your arms and back can be.
With kids?
I guess.
Because with adults, I see guys doing pull-ups with all kinds of weight strapped to their thing. Point, so you get a guy with that kind of strength, and then they got 100 pounds, 100 pounds of body fat, and they can do a pull-up. They can still be obese.
Okay.
So it's like different, you know?
Bro, bro science was just maybe proven wrong.
I don't know.
Science isn't reliable.
I don't know if we solved anything. We just asked a bunch of questions with,
All right. I am going to really try and be quiet so you can get through this.
Okay. So anyway, so what I do is actually pretty simple. I have 3 days of essentially the same thing as far as lifting weights goes, which is like I'd say they're geared towards bodybuilding. They're real basic, like 4 sets of 12 of shoulder press and then 3 sets of 12 of lateral raises with shrugs as like a superset. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between superset and giant set. I forget what it is. One is doing the same body part with 2 exercises in one essential set, and the other one is doing 2 different body parts right after, Okay. Anyway, so I go lat raises, shrugs. That's a superset. Do 3 sets of that. That's for shoulders. And then go to like bicep curls, 3-4 sets of that. Same thing.
12 reps?
Well, it depends on the day. Mm-hmm. So if I did 12 reps last time I did it, I'll go down to like a 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 kind of situation. And I alternate. So that's a 1 day. And then the other day is squats. like a same thing, 4 sets of 12 or 5 or whatever. And then the other day is a like bench, but I do dumbbells, bench or incline, and then rows and pull-ups.
And you most of the time you're working either 12 rep range or 5 rep range. That is a little excerpt of what we are doing on the Jocko Underground podcast. So if you want to continue to listen, go to jockounderground.com and subscribe. And we're doing this to mitigate our reliance on external platforms so we are not subject to their control. And we're doing it so we can give you more control, more interaction, more direct connections, better communications with us, strengthen this legion of troopers that are in the game with us. So thank you. It's jockounderground.com. It costs $8.18 a month. And if you can't afford to support us, we can still support you. Just email assistance@jockounderground.com and we'll get you taken care of. Until then, we will see you mobilized underground.